We will divide this module into two steps. First, you will apply the password policies for the Windows domain accounts. Then you will verify how these policies are enforced across your Windows domain. Let's start off by preparing the Windows domain environment. We will provision a few new users into the domain and then adjust their password policies, and in doing so, you will observe the effects it has on the login experience into the Linux host. We're back in the Windows Domain Controller server. Let's launch the Server Manager. Click on Tools menu on the top right-hand corner, and from the drop-down menu, select Active Directory Users and Computers. As you may recall, we have set up a Windows domain called Tetranoodle, and within that Windows domain, we have these two OUs, or organizational units, called Tetra and Tetra2. We have a few domain users registered within these two OUs. Let's create another organizational unit to host some new Linux-specific users. Select the domain node and right-click on it. Click on New, and then the organizational unit. Let's name the organization unit Linux Users. Let's uncheck this checkbox related to accidental deletion prevention. Click on OK. Alright, so this new organizational unit has been created and is listed in this tree of nodes on the left-hand side of this dashboard. Now, under this Linux User OU, let's create a few users. The reason why we want to create new users instead of using existing users is that we want to set some specific password policies on these users and observe the effects that it has while logging in. Right-click in the space on the right-hand side list. Click on New and then click on the User menu. Here in the New User Wizard, let's specify the details for this user. Let's specify Linux1 in the first name field. Click on Next. Set a password for user Linux1 and uncheck the box that says that user must change password at next login. And you will notice if we have not checked any of these options which affect the password policy for this user. Click on Next. Click on Finish. Now, similarly, create another user by right-clicking the dashboard. Click on New. Click on Users. Let's call this user Linux2. Click on Next. Set a password for user Linux2 and uncheck the password policy checkboxes. Click on Next. Click on Finish. Alright, great! So now we have two new users registered under the Linux OU. We will experiment with these users by setting certain properties for their password policy and try to log into the Linux host using the credentials of these two new users.